Prime going into game number 1 for the IPL5 qualifier number 4 here for the NA side. And straight away, we are already into the bans, Sona, Alistar, and Rengar.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what we're going to find from CLG. They're going to clearly hold back on some of their strategies for their upcoming Season 2 championships. But they did do some interesting stuff versus CLG EU. Earlier, we saw actually Voidboy pulling out the Lulu once again. He had used it with Dignitas a long time ago. Wasn't quite as successful today. Yeah. But I don't know, we'll see what we can expect out of them. They were asking CLG coming into this, is Rengar globally banned? Because Rengar is just absolutely ridiculous. No, he is not. Easy answer, we ban Rengar, because he is absolutely insane right now.
Yep, and Syndra is also open, but you know, the patch...
Not quite as insane.
Not quite as insane, but...
I think they're okay with Syndra being open.
Yeah, and after tonight's patch, well, maybe things may change, but alas, it has not happened yet. And also, if you are just joining us, freak out a little bit less. This is not Messiah. This is not Kaume. This is World Elite's B team, but they do have to borrow some accounts so they can actually go ahead and play in this tournament. And Nivea and Shen going to be the last 2 bans. And Malphite has been left open. So has Ezreal. Fantastic first pick coming in.
Yeah, Ezreal makes sense. We saw them pick Ezreal both of the games that they played earlier versus Hot Pockets, but you know, Ezreal is a very safe pick. You can run it in any comp, so it just kind of makes sense. There are a number of champs that are open. Nunu is available.
Yes.
Sona was banned out, but you know, Nunu would be one of those hard supports. We didn't see any Blitzcrank from World Elite, but that's not to say that they wouldn't if Chowster wants to play the Blitzcrank and hold it from them. But they will be looking at that. Diana is still incredibly strong. You know, TF as well is still open, but we'll see. You know, we have seen a lot of TF pushing strategies from CLG in the past.
And also in the show match they did right before here too. I didn't catch the actual stats. How did he end that game actually?
TF?
Yeah.
Not very well. They were behind CLG EU for a large portion of the game, but they go ahead and pick not only Diana, but also Lulu, and that's going to be interesting to see whether that's going to be a Lulu support or top lane. We have seen Voidboy play Lulu top in a significant period of time, you know, in the past, but it is a very strong lane. It also works as a pushing support, but whichever way you go, the team fighting potential is going to be nice to have that boost. It works for Diana. She can, you know, dive in, then you just alter so she doesn't die, but you also have really nice pushing potential. Jace and Orianna going down for World Elite IPL5, though, 2 very strong champions at this point in time. They have a lot of mobility right now. The poke from Jace, Orianna, and Ezreal is very strong, so it might be key for CLG to have a really strong initiation team to counter that.
Yeah, and we've been talking for, you know, days and days on end, you know, praising Jace, how well he's been doing there in the top lane, what an amazing champ he is. And in the last set, when the WE.i-rocks played against the Hot Pocket Survivors, he escaped the bans and was not picked by either team. So we did not actually get to see WE.i-rocks rock the Jace, but we will here. Was considering the Malphite earlier on the picks, but gonna grab it now along with the Graves. So Lulu still possible for the support or top role here.
Yeah, it is. I am not sure that we're going to see it. It could be a last-second kind of decoy where they send it top. It's probably going to be a Graves Lulu lane, though, with Lulu as support. That is a very common lane. You know, it's a strong pushing lane. It's one of the best lanes to actually swap. And we've seen CLG. They do like swapping lanes a lot. Yes. They do like that aggressive early pushing style. And Graves Lulu can very quickly take a tower against almost anyone. So now it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that bottom lane. So they probably want an aggressive support. We saw them go Taric in Game 1. That's probably their easy fallback option. It would work pretty well with this, but Leona actually gives them a little bit better initiation. It is really common to have that Ezreal Leona lane, so we'll see if they lock in with that.
Yeah, and also just cannot solely rely on the Orianna ult just for initiation. You have that backup too. And to throw the orb onto Udyr or even onto a Skarner would do equally as well. We will see. Will it be the Skarner? Will it be the Udyr? It will be the Skarner. So Skarner and Leona rounding out the rest of the team here for World Elite WE.i-rocks. Just a matter of the last pick here for CLG Prime.
Yeah, I'm curious what Voidboy is going to be going top against Jace, because Jace is a really strong champion. Voidboy could go something like Aurelia. You know, he could go Vladimir even. Jace doesn't quite have enough damage to take down Vladimir. It's actually interesting. It seems like Jace would beat Vladimir in lane, but Vladimir can actually bully around Jace a little bit, and that would give them some nice AoE. But they have a couple of options. You know, I guess they're thinking things through right now. Probably going to be a Malphite in the jungle, but they could also send Malphite top, and Malphite, you know, would do pretty well against Jace.
Still got a little bit more time to think about it. I think CLG still questioning going over it, whether they want to send out Lulu top and
Olaf. Actually, that was the pick all along. Now that I see it, I'm like, oh wow, I feel stupid for not bringing it up, because that is Voyboy's go-to, his #1 main man, Olaf. He is a monster at Olaf, and it's also his best champion in the 1v2 situation. So they are going to be swapping lanes. They're going to send Graves and Lulu in the top lane most likely, and then be sending Olaf in the bot lane. His 1v2 as Olaf is just astounding. Like, whenever you watch it, I feel like Voyboy might be the best 1v2 player in the game. Like, when you watch him in these setups, he'll very commonly be 11 minutes in with like 100 CS in a 1v2 lane and playing Olaf, and that's just not something you see from a lot of champions. And Olaf is very strong. He can bully around almost anyone. If it's just Jace versus Olaf, then he's going to be able to win that lane. But they have a lot of options right now. We've seen them do some interesting level 1 fights or level 1 invades, and then use that teleport on Voyboy to get him over into that lane, to get him into a safe position. So they have a lot of options, and they could really take control of this game quickly.
So the countdown coming on in, as soon as that is secured, we're going to take a look at some of the masteries and runes, because I imagine some of them may also still be changed up here. And yes, these are going to be your teams. Let's take a look at Voyboy first, since Olaf is the most interesting dude here. One of the runes, pretty standard armor, magic resist, and physical. 9, 12, 9, getting for a little bit of everything, a little bit of tank, a little bit of mana, so we can expect to see those axes being thrown with quite a bit of frequency. Also going to take a look at Chester here, see what he's running for any upcoming supports. If you're playing support, you get some gold per 10s, you get a little bit of tanky. 1, 10, and 19. You want to make sure that you have that mastery in that exhaust. You can also take a look here at the Jace.
Nothing really unusual, but it's going to be interesting to see what World Elite IPLLoL does to counter out the early pushing from CLG, because they're going to be able to take a tower very quickly if World Elite's not ready for it, and then all of a sudden transition through lanes, and it's just they could really quickly pull ahead in this game with those team gold advantages. And it's actually, talking with Hotshot, I love the pushing strategies that CLG have been going for, because it really, team objectives, and that's what CLG really focuses on, pushing and team objectives. They're very safe. You get nice team gold. Everyone on your team, will get a nice little benefit, and you don't have to risk early fights. Early fights can, even if you're the best players in the world, even if you have everything set up, they can kind of go any one way or the other. Like, there's still a risk involved. Whereas with early pushing strategies, you kind of remove some of that risk. You just go straight for the gold, basically.
Leona on World Elite going straight tank 0, 15, 15. Not going to be starting out with the extra gold in the wallet, so that could be one less ward to have in lane, but we'll see what they do going forward. So we mentioned before, the lane swap more than likely going to be happening here.
And Jace is very strong in the lane 1v2 situation, so he should be able to farm. They will be able to bully him around a little bit early on, but he will be able to stall a little bit. Ezreal and Leona, on the other hand, they have a really strong aggressive lane. Like, they can be very. It's going to be very difficult for Voyboy. They're going to be able to bully him around a little bit, but it's not a very strong pushing lane. Voyboy is going to be able to clear the minion waves. They're almost never going to be able to touch his tower, so it's going to be advantage CLG as far as the pushing is concerned, and it's going to be interesting to see. The first game we saw with World Elite versus Hot Pockets, their bot lane didn't really do so well. They weren't really comfortable. They were running an aggressive lane that game as well, along with the Ezreal, and they were kind of bullied around by Hot Pockets. Second game, they were a lot more comfortable, but this is CLG we're talking about here. This is the main event, so we'll see whether or not Sunflower Land is ready for it.
The main event, and actually what is the round of 16?
Yeah.
In this qualifier, and this is a match that actually has been waiting to happen.
It's the main event for them, at least. Anyone playing against a team like CLG, it's going to be the main event for you.
Yep. And the winner of this, moving on to a round of 8, will actually play the winner of Team Classic and Orbit. Going to be seeing how it goes on there. And then the winner of that,
oh my God,
will actually go into the semifinals to play Mono Ferris.
This bracket is absolutely ridiculous.
It is.
So CLG potentially versus Orbit, then potentially versus Mono Ferris.
Boom. We got it. We're good. Okay. Play. Let's go.
30 seconds.
All right, so right off the bat, World Elite, they're actually looking for an aggressive invade, and actually Graves, he's coming down. He's going to see them a little bit. Chauster gets the Glitter Lance to slow them down some, but we'll see. CLG, they're pretty prepared for it right now. Lulu actually drops a ward over the wall. Chauster, hitting that ward spot. It's actually kind of a difficult spot to hit in that brush down there, but they do have really nice vision, dropping 2 wards to protect their blue right now.
So you got the point defense coming in. You got CLG. They're still looking to defend here. You have Voyboy right there, going to be starting off on the Wolves, so he's going to have a little bit of an experience lead going down into the bot lane. But you do have this invade coming in from World Elite. They're waiting just to see if they can get anything. The Orb leading the charge first, but there was the ward catching them out in the river, and you may see them come in from behind for a gank. CLG, are they going to go for it to go straight on in? Double lift. Ooh, is he going to lead out there? Huge.
Yeah, the Olaf.
Wow, this is really extended.
Olaf is going to give them vision, and they know they're there, so they're chasing in, trying to get these early kills.
You got Voyboy out in front, looking to get damage. Joker gets very low. Skarner just barely making fight. The exhaust going down on the Leona. Will be shooting the first one. Yes, Graves getting the first blood down on to the Leona. Double lift with that credit. You got the speed bump coming in from Jace, but he is split with from the rest of the team. Skarner very low, looking to run flash, being used by Ezreal just to get over the ridge. Hotshot, will he continue the pursuit? No, they got the one kill. They're happy, but Jace though does get slowed by the Glorlance.
Missing
will not
it.
get the second hit.
He almost juked right into it,
He
but
almost did.
they will back off, but a huge early advantage for CLG, and the level 1 for World Elite was very weak, so CLG catching them in the wards, they knew that they could pressure them some. Jace actually started with his acceleration gate, which is making him very vulnerable, not only in lane, but it also was very weak level 1. He had no chance there. Voyboy going up in the top lane, they actually didn't do the lane swap, and Jace went down into the bottom lane expecting that lane swap to happen.
Yeah.
So, you know, Jace can still 1v2 pretty effectively, but I think they did that in a reflex of nature. They expected them to do it, but CLG is not, and they will be pretty safe. Voyboy, he's going to be fine in that lane, and already CLG invading,
Wow.
going after the red. Who are they going to pass it off to? It seems like they're going to give it to Double Lift, but we'll see. That's going to be very strong at pressuring that bottom lane.
Yep, Double Lift's going to be going back with the red down to the bot lane in the 1v2, so that can be absolutely brutal, and we're just going to be getting back to live in just a second.
Oh, they're going in
Wow.
for the invade on the blue too.
This is quite insane, actually, coming in from CLG. You got right out in front Leona looking for damage onto Big Fat. Diana is forced to flash over the wall, is still ignited. Voyboy very low. Orianna Orb looking for something, anything damage. The axe going backwards, hitting 3 champs, but the right there with the lance. Leona getting the credit for that kill onto Olaf.
Yeah, just being a little bit over-aggressive. Orianna is very strong at the early fights, and because they have the 2v1 up top, that's very unusual for CLG to go for an invade up there. However, Double Lift is able to wear down Jace very effectively. If Chouster tanks it for him, they could take it,
Wow.
and Chouster actually
might just
gets
get
the E.
himself.
He's going to get the Glitter Lance. He's going to get the kill. No, the flash out from Jace, but can he get the Glitter Lance? No, it just barely disappears. Sometimes, once you get a little bit of cooldown reduction or level up your abilities some, you can actually get a second Glitter Lance off of that Pixie, so that he almost would have been able to pick up the kill after the flash.
So Chester and Double Lift forcing the Jace out of bot lane and looking to continue their push. Bot tier 1 is already at half health, 5 minutes in. Top tower cannot be said the same for WE.i-rocks. CLG's top turret is in mint condition.
And
Absolutely.
I'm still a little bit surprised that CLG decided to go for the invade, considering they knew they were outnumbered. But I think they're kind of just poking at them. They're trying to measure their opponents right now, just see kind of what they're looking at. It didn't really put them that far behind. It slows down Voyboy a little bit, but other than that, it wasn't really that big of a deal. So you know, he should be okay. Leona got the kill, fortunately, but we'll see if that impacts him in this top lane.
Yep. So, and Voyboy's still doing a pretty good job at keeping the wave cleared, getting a huge chunk of damage on Ezreal, but that's just, he just wants to clear the wave as quick as he can, and now Chouster and Double Lift making their way up here top lane. Can they get the slow? Can get anything down on to Ezreal? Yes, you do. You got the first Glitter Lance. Can you follow the exhaust to follow up with that? More damage coming in from Louis. You got Leona flashing. Chouster wants that kill. He does get it. Tower will still take him out, but that is still 2 assists to the 1 assist. Olaf managed to still get assist on that.
Well, it's also a positive exchange because they take down the AD carry, and they did it during a lane swap. So by doing it during a lane swap, it allowed you know, Voyboy to get some experience, and it allows them to take control of that top lane. Their AD Double Lift is way ahead of Sunflower Lawn right now, and he's going to be pushing this massive wave into the tower, and they're actually going to miss out on a lot of golden experience there. Voyboy, in the meantime, it was pushing into him. He missed out on a little bit, but not that much. He's still even with Jace, and now he's going to very confidently 1v1 them there. Malphite actually coming in, and Graves, he was zoning out the lane. He's trying to kill it past the tower, but Leona flashing in, but he has Hotshot waiting for him if Hotshot can turn this around. Double Lift trying to take down Sunfire Lan. Really nice play, actually.
Wow.
Hotshot tanking the turret, though. He might go down.
Right there, he does get the flash away. The missing shot does not hit his mark, and Hotshot somehow escapes out of it. But meanwhile, Chowster keeping Orianna slowed. Ignite down onto Lulu. The ult completely missing its mark, and Double Lift is now out of mana. Skarner with one auto tech should be able theoretically to take out Lulu, but Diana's keeping busy. Graves does go down in the middle of the river. Big Fat and Chowster have to go home because Chowster can just die.
Yeah, CLG, they are being extremely aggressive right now, which is very cool, but they're putting themselves in dangerous situations. They think, you know, they're playing because they're pretty confident, and you can see by their playstyle that they're mechanically stronger than their opponents. They want to just bully them around and know they can still win these generally fairly even fights, or, you know, even at their disadvantage, because they know that they're just going to outplay them, and it's just barely not working out for them because World Elite has actually done a really nice job of turning it around. You know, they've made some nice plays themselves. Ezreal just barely staying alive in that previous fight, and that's actually going to set CLG a little bit behind from what they want to do, but they still have a very aggressive lane, so we'll see if they can try and turn that around.
Also, a quick gold update here. I mean, Graves still has a decent lead over the Ezreal, but given some time to the lane to farm, he has caught up a decent amount, and plus also the assist coming in. Yeah, that also helps too when you're in a pinch. You also got Diana in the mid. Orianna is now starting to take that goal lead there, but still
that's a lot of that.
Very aggressive.
A lot of that is from Big Fat roaming around a little bit, and really Orianna has no lead. It's 4 CS. But yeah, we'll see how that lane kind of progresses. Orianna is one of the strongest mid laners in the game. She can harass Diana pretty effectively, but once Diana you know, gets 6, which Big Fat is 6, he's level 7 now, the mobility actually works very well against Orianna, because the best counter to Orianna is getting between Orianna and her orb, because then she just misses out on so much damage. And Diana, if Orianna tries to be aggressive and tries to use the command attack, Diana can just dive right onto Orianna, burst her down, and you know, take advantage of that lane.
Diana grabbing the blue buff, bringing it back to the mid lane. Orianna not quite yet the same. The blue buff has not respawned, so it has had a chance to go back and grab it. Skarner about to ding 5. Hotshot very close, getting close to 6. Gonna have that ultimate pretty soon. And again, this aggression coming in from CLG. Top tier 1 is gonna be going down pretty soon. You got the ult just front loading some more damage down onto Ezreal, but here comes Skarner from behind. You got the ward finding them out in the brush, but he actually backs off, recognizing that Ezreal will not be able to help out in this because he is so low. So he's repositioning himself. The tower does go down. Are they continuing the push? Yes, they are. And they can catch Big Fat here. Diana in a lot of trouble. You got the Orianna ult keeping her still, but does flash over the forest wall and will get back to the river.
Yeah, in the 2v2 where Ezreal's not taking part with Skarner, Graves and Leona would actually, or Lulu would actually win that. With the slow onto the Skarner, Graves would be able to kite, and Double Lift just kind of poking down Ezreal until he was in range, trying to get that kill. They are going for the steal here, knowing that Ezreal was pretty low, but he's actually healed up pretty effectively, so it's not the best situation for them. It's still a 4v3. It does stall them off some, and it allows Hotshot to get back in this, though. So Hotshot, he is level 6. He pops the Oracles, so he doesn't want to lose that right now, but it will allow him to be extremely aggressive.
The Hotshot is also 6. Skarner still level 4, so that's going to be another ult to add on to this fight, and there it goes down. Double Lift getting a kill onto the Orianna, double kill right there on to Skarner. Is he getting any more off this? Lulu and Diana also getting some credits. That is a quick 4 kills in their own jungle. World Elite taking a lot of pain right there in a 4-man push. They are just going to take out the mid tower.
CLG just completely manhandled them right there, and the Orianna or the Diana and Malphite combo is just so strong. It's kind of similar to the Orianna combo, except a little bit more aggressive. So Big Fat, he can dive in. They're coming through the jungle, which means that's where CLG is at their benefit. When they're in the jungle, it's those tight quarters, and so they all group together. That's 2 towers down for CLG already, and they are just laughing to themselves. They know that they have control of this game. You know, really commanding lead already, and they will be able to push down into the bottom lane, take the dragon, take that tower as well. And so far, Voyboy, he is very even with Jace. You know, a lot of that has to do with him falling a little bit behind against Ezreal and Leona, and CLG actually backs off. They don't go for the dragon yet, so taking the safe route. They know they're 4K ahead, and they haven't bought yet. So let's go back, buy our items, and then be able to pressure them a little bit more.
Lulu picking up 2 GP10s, the support double pack going on back, the Heart of Gold and the Philo Stone. You got Graves starting up onto the Bloodthirster. He's got the BF Sword and the Vamp Scepter. Diana, mobility, stacking up those rings, getting the Sword Pendulums, and You also got the lucky pick, another GP10, GP10, GP10s, GP10s all over the place. And then when you have a team like this that's carved out such a very quick lead, those GP10s help them stay in the lane and stay in the lead and further that lead with the income later on.
Yeah, and they haven't actually decided to swap the lanes yet. I thought they might send Voyboy up in the top lane, get their bot down, or send Graves and Lulu down bot once again, Doublelift and Chouster to try and take advantage there. But they're still going top, and I think they want to continue to bully around that lane. So we'll see if they actually start to pursue the second tower, if they're using it for that, or if they're just looking to get some kills against Ezreal to really solidify their lead.
And also looks like a Hotshot's just standing guard, making sure that nothing else happens to the Graves and to the Lulu. Well, he's staying not too far behind. Ult is actually back up for the next big team fight also, so that's going to be available. Big Fat continuing the push in mid. He's playing. He's kind of like pretty much playing the safety here. Whichever lane needs a mid or top, he can just be there in an instant.
Yeah, and World Elite i-rocks, they're in a really dangerous position right now. 4 members of CLG are up top, but Skarner's hitting up top as well. So that's actually really good, thought on his part to keep near that top lane, because they are probably trying to pressure it. If CLG is still sending their top up there, their only reason for it is to take the second turret or try to get kills. And Skarner, he has a lot of mobility. He's trying to get on mid on Diana, but just doesn't quite have the range. But Skarner, he can try and manipulate the map some. He's very fast as a jungler. It's just that there's so much pressure from CLG. He hasn't had an opportunity to counter jungle Malphite like you would expect him to.
Doublelift front-loading damage with the ult once again. Just wants Ezreal gone. He just wants him out of the lane. He wants him to be depressed and not even be there. It's like, oh man, I'm already at half health. I don't even want to be here. You got some more damage being exchanged between Jace and Olaf here back in the bot. But look at Hotshot and his positioning. He wants something here. He wants to get... He wants his positioning just in case the dive happens, just in case there's support coming up from the side. And Big Fat also staying right there, right out of vision.
CLG is just forcing them back into their towers right now.
This is bad. Skarner right out in front does not get the impale, dies before he can even attempt it. It's not even on cooldown. Look at that damage. Huge.
Yeah, they need to get some more map control back. Losing those 2 towers so early on, it means they've lost complete control of the top half of the map. Voyboy, he's still comfortable down at the bottom half, but they're pushed up to the second turrets. There's no threat of any kills against CLG because they can kite away from them. Leona actually jumping into the middle of the team. Probably not the best situation. She does flash out, but this tower is very close to dropping. It will actually, they will lose it on this next wave if Doublelift and Chouster decide to take it. And the concern is they don't have a good means of taking back map control. Usually you would say to ward, but Hotshot, he got the early oracles. Voyboy now chasing down Calmay with those axes. If he can just hit one more, he should be able to get this, the nice knockback, so he should be okay. But they can't get map control because of Malphite, and they really just need to start grouping and try and win some fights in order to take back map control. They need to get that oracles off of Malphite in order to be able to push back.
I also like Doublelift's fancy footwork too, as you've seen in lane. He'll throw off but what a lot of Graves players will do is they will dash, then buckshot. What you see him do is he's standing in lane, buckshot, he's still within tower aggro, and then dashes backwards just to get out of range. It's really neat.
Yeah, well, I mean, he knows he can zone off Ezreal. So yeah. What's either going to happen is he doesn't need to get damage on Ezreal. All he wants to do is push. All he wants to do is outfarm Ezreal. Ezreal's done a decent job of keeping up, but Doublelift is miles ahead right now. So all he wants to do is zone Ezreal for the most part. If Ezreal tries to come in, then he knows he can buckshot and escape with that dash. If he doesn't come in, then perfect. Ezreal's losing farm, so it's a win-win situation for them. Yeah. CLG, they do move in for this dragon, so they're going to take that, and Jace is way out of position. Doublelift has the red buff. He goes for the acceleration gate, but there's the red shot. I think Doublelift is going to be able to grab him. He has another red shot, but the tower is still up, so I don't know if they can take him down here.
They could just go front load
or
the damage
they can
on go straight on in, get out of turret range. The impale is going to bring him back in. Nice positioning on Skarner at the very least. Grab a kill with your lone solo laner going down on that one. Very nice exchange there. But with Doublelift, though, with that kill, though, I think he's actually very close, about a K away from straight up doubling up the gold income on Sunflower. But that kill would have definitely did help his income even more, like he actually needed any more help. Does now have the Infinity Edge. He can save that Vamp Scepter later for when he can just build a Bloodthirster whenever he has the time and the gold. You also got Voyboy, did go back, got the Frozen Heart, so that's going to shut down Ezreal and Jace even more when you start hitting those team fights.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Hotshot is actually ahead of Skarner in farm in that jungle, which you normally don't expect to see in a Skarner versus Malphite matchup, since Skarner has that jungling speed. But Hotshot taking good routes, and they're just abusing them as a team, counter jungling very aggressively, taking control of the entire map, which has resulted in it. So really nice team play from CLG. Once they get to a little bit later in the game, if World Elite can hold off a little bit more, it's really tough because they're down 7k gold right now. Then Joker on Skarner, he's going to be able to help them pick off some players. They do have really good poke. Their team synergy is very nice. The only concern is with this kind of a lead, CLG, not only can they itemize deep into their damage items, but they're also going to get really tanky really quickly, and it's just going to be too difficult for World Elite to burst them down. Like it's going to be taking multiple ultimates just to kill Diana, and then they're going to still have to deal with Hotshot and then Double Lift and Voyboy coming in behind.
Yeah, and Voyboy hasn't even need to be involved in his team fights. He's just keeping Jace busy.
Yeah,
It's
and they
fantastic.
are pushing bot right now pretty aggressively, so just constantly keeping up the pressure on World Elite.
Yeah, Ezreal, you just cannot even stand with all this poke. It seems like every time we see him under tower, he's always at half health. It is quite ridiculous. Malphite not too far behind. Speed buff on Lulu, recognizing that they're trying to be, they're pushing back. World Elite, they do have the presence of Orianna. Skarner wasn't too far behind either. He does have his Impale back up. So if he can get a grab on someone like Double Lift, that could be huge. Drag him straight on into turret aggro range, try and chunk him out pretty quick. But as you saw earlier with the engage, Malphite was right there to keep him in check with the ultimate. Diana, though, could be in a bit of a weird spot if Skarner does decide to go the long way around. She is isolated, does check with the Q. The wraiths are not there. Skarner already took them. And now noticing that there's no one here from World Elite to keep on pushing further into bot lane, CLG shows themselves once again and continues their push.
Yeah, that's actually a really common spot. A lot of times, Ezreal, you would expect there, he wants to push the lane away from his tower, get momentum, and so he'll keep pushing there. So they maybe could have picked up a kill and then, take the tower off of it. Instead, they're just going to keep on bullying around this tower. Malphite has control, Diana's control in the mid, and Voyboy is going to start split pushing that top lane. And they're just, right now, World Elite, they need to be able to engage on these isolated pockets of CLG. They're just too weak. They know they can't win, even in like 3v2s or maybe even 4v2s against CLG. It would be pretty difficult
And
for
we're
them.
actually looking at a potential 4v5 coming up soon. Right now, World Elite, they're just letting Voyboy do his thing in exchange for even an attempt to try and outman CLG, at least in this fight.
And they all showed themselves. So they
Yeah.
all walked up to the minion wave. Rather than trying to hold some of them in secret, CLG knows right now that all 5 members are bottom, which means they just have to play defensively and allow Voyboy to take that top turret.
Yeah, and if Voyboy left unchecked, he will take that down pretty quick. You do have Skarner on the side along with Malphite. Hotshot showing himself in the lane. Joker may actually be able to get something in on this. Here he goes. Oh, no, here he comes. No, here he goes. He can't decide, actually. And
If he tries to go in, they're going to lose. Like, they can't fight CLG even 4v5, but it means that they're losing their base on multiple sides.
All going back just to keep Voyboy from trying to take down that tower. And he's just going to ult and ghost and get out of there. And he doesn't even need to use it now. He just has plenty of notion just to back off here. And World Elite, just their presence. They just need to split their presence. He's like, well, we're all here. You can just back off for like a few more inches for a few more seconds. Now we're back at bot, and Voyboy has no reason to leave. He has no reason to leave.
But he's going to leave anyway.
But he's going to, though.
Yeah.
he has no reason, but he will choose to.
Yeah, no, the concern is that CLG, Voyboy is strong enough where he can beat anyone in lane right now. He is very well farmed. He's very powerful, so he can split push very actively. If World Elite right now, if they try and split their forces in order to stall lanes, then CLG could just tower dive and win a quick fight and then take a tower. If not, then they can split push. So there's not really a good, strong position for World Elite right now where they can really take anything. They need to just kind of go for it and try and win a fight. But if they do against CLG, unless it's like a 5v3 fight, they're probably going to lose. And that means that they really need to just watch as CLG takes everything and then, hope that CLG makes a mistake. Like, that's what World Elite's waiting for right now, is CLG to make a mistake that they can capitalize on.
Yep. And now also CLG also has World Elite conditioned here. I.rocks, they see Voyboy's like, oh, well, he's split pushing again. That's, nothing different here. But the rest of the team, they've been busy taking down that Baron, and I.rocks was none the wiser. So next time they see Olaf in lane, they realize that's what the rest of the team's been doing. Okay, that sucks. Now we need to be in, if they were already in defense mode, now they need super defense mode. They need to get the siege tanks going. And actually, no, they see the Baron, and they're all leaving.
Yeah, they know that game's over. They haven't been able to fight against CLG for a while now. They've really just been waiting for a mistake. For the past 10 minutes almost, CLG was in such a commanding lead. And they were waiting and waiting, and then they saw the Baron buff, and they were like, oh, shit, it's not happening.
It's done.
So CLG takes game number 1, absolutely steamrolling World Elite I.rocks. If this is kind of what we can expect to see from CLG at Season 2 Championships, that would be pretty exciting. But this is their B team. They did look very strong in the previous match. But we'll see how they can maybe try and turn it around against CLG. It's just the aggressive pushing. They didn't know how to deal with it. CLG was just constantly forcing their way into their base and bullying them around.
Very, very well done from CLG. And I like this though. This is like a revived team here. Like CLG's, they've been gone for so long.
Well, that's
and we were questioning too. Like, did they actually learn anything in Korea? But yeah.
I mean, this kind of aggression is what CLG's been practicing for some time now. This is what we saw at PAX Regionals. They were a little bit out of practice. There was the issue where they actually had to come and leave Tokyo pretty early because there was actually a tsunami warning for PAX Regionals. So they had to leave a week earlier than they expected to, which actually ruined their practice schedule. They weren't able to get quite as much practice as they could. They looked a little bit rusty, but we've seen some aggressive pushing from CLG. This is kind of another version of it. They have a team where all the lanes can very quickly clear creep waves, so they can really quickly push, but it allows them to roam as a team, try and pick up kills. Every kill, you don't need a lot of kills. You pick up 1 or 2 kills, but every kill results in a tower. Or if you don't get a kill, if you force them to leave, it results in a tower. So very quickly, they're able to push into World Elite's base, and the team gold advantages. So they had lane farming advantages, not that significant, but they were there. But really, the significant thing was the tower advantages, the dragon advantages, those team gold objectives. They were able to just abuse World Elite I.rocks.
And we will be back in just a little bit. Going to game number 2 soon. World Elite I.rocks versus CLG Prime for the IPL5 qualifier number 4 for the NA. Be back in a sec.